Hello everyone. Today we will study a beautiful poem from the book First Flight, Class 10 Cbse, and that is A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. My dear children, in this poem, the poet conveys a very important message that the wild animals should be in their natural habitat. In the poem, the poet has very nicely heightened the contrast between freedom and captivity. He has done a very impressive job in showcasing the fact that freedom is loved by all living beings. So, my dear children, let's discuss this wonderful poem.
Well, children, before we discuss this poem, A Tiger in the Zoo, let's discuss about the poet. The poet of this poem is George Leslie Norris. He was born on 21 May 1921. He was a prize-winning Welsh poet and short story writer. Welsh poet means a person who belongs to Wales. Wales is actually a country, or you could say it is a part of the United Kingdom, and the people of Wales are called as Welsh. He taught at academic institutions in Britain and the United States, including Brigham Young University. Norris is considered one of the most important Welsh writers of the post-war period. Post-war means after the end of Second World War, and his literary publications have won many prizes. So he was one of the most important Welsh writers, and his literary publications have won many prizes. So that was a brief intro of the poet George Leslie Norris, and he died on 6 April 2006. Now we'll start the poem. A Tiger in the Zoo. This poem contrasts a tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. Read the poem silently once and say which stanza speaks about the tiger in the zoo and which one speak about the tiger in the jungle. So, my dear children, the poet has made a comparison. Contrast means comparison. He has made a comparison between two tigers. One tiger is in the zoo and the another tiger is in its natural habitat. Natural habitat means jungle. And now we have to read this poem and we have to find out that which stanza is talking about the tiger that is in the zoo and which stanza is talking about the tiger which is in the jungle. So now let's explore this poem. He stalks in his vivid stripes, the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet, quiet in his quiet rage. Now, the poet, first of all, he is addressing that tiger as he. Okay, this he refers to the tiger. Now, this tiger moves in his vivid stripes. Vivid means very clear, visible. You can easily, see that stripes. Stripes means that black lines, on its body. The few steps of his cage. Cage means, this word cage in Hindi we call it pinjra. Okay. This word cage clearly tells us that we are talking about the tiger that is in the zoo on pads of velvet. These pads of velvet means, you might have noticed, when the tiger, when it walks, it does not make noise. Very quietly it moves on. That is something God has given, to this animal, and that helps the animal to attack its prey. So that is why what is happening, it is moving very quietly without making any noise in his quiet rage. In his quiet rage means, now this tiger is very angry. This tiger is very angry, but it is very quiet. It is not making any sort of noise, nor the tiger is growling or anything else, but the tiger is very quiet. Now, this first stanza talks about the tiger that is in the zoo. Now, we'll move on to the next stanza. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole, where plump deer pass. Now, what is happening here? Now, in this second stanza, now the poet is saying that the tiger, it should be hiding in shadow, sliding means without making any noise, moving very quietly and smoothly through long grass, near the water hole where plump deer pass. Now, actually, the tiger should be in the jungle waiting for its prey. Prey means shikar. But tiger should not be in a cage. Okay. Now, this second stanza, it talks about the tiger that is in the jungle. Now we'll move on to the third stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Now the poet is saying that the tiger should be moving around the houses, around those houses which are at the edge of the jungle, and making very dangerous and fearsome, noise. Along with that, showing his white teeth, his claws, and creating a sense of fear among the villagers. Now, this particular stanza again talks about the tiger that is in the zoo. Now we'll move on to the next stanza. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. But unfortunately, the tiger is in a concrete cell. Concrete cell means very strong cage, and his whole strength is behind that bar. And now this tiger cannot move throughout the jungle because it is not in the jungle. It is, locked in a cage. So that tiger is walking the length of that cage and simply ignoring the visitors. Why ignoring the visitors? Because tiger knows this fact very well, that it cannot do anything to the visitors because he is locked in a concrete cell. His whole strength is behind the bars, so it is better to ignore the visitors. Now, this particular stanza talks about the tiger that is in the zoo. Now, this is the last paragraph. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Now, what is happening now? It is, the night time, and now this tiger, it hears the last voice at night. And what type of noise is that? The patrolling cars. Patrolling here means to keep watch over. In Hindi we call it गश्त लगाना. रात के समय जो फॉरेस्ट रेंजर्स होते हैं या फिर जू के जो अथॉरिटीज होते हैं, वो जब गश्त लगाते हैं रात के समय, so he hears that last voice and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Stares means to look fixedly, often with wide open eyes. टकटकी लगाकर देखना बस. So that what is happening, this tiger is looking at the brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes, as if asking a question, asking a question that God, why am I locked in this concrete cell? क्यों मुझे इस पिंजरे में रखा गया है? Why? I cannot enjoy my freedom. So that is this poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. I hope you have understood this short poem very well. Now we will discuss the literary devices that are used in this poem. So first of all, we'll discuss about the rhyme scheme. Now, my dear children, if you see, the rhyme scheme of all the stanzas are A, B and C, B. The same rhyme scheme is followed in all the stanzas, A, B, C, B. Then we'll come to personification. That is the another, literary device used in this poem. He hears the last voice at night. Tiger is personified because the poet has addressed it as he. So personification here means, in Hindi we call it manvikaran. It means that when something a part of human being is addressed as a human, then that is called personification. जब कोई वस्तु या कोई चीज उसे इंसान की तौर पर पेश किया जाता है, there we call it personification. Metaphor. On pads of velvet white, tiger paws are compared with velvet. So here the poet has used another literary device that is called metaphor. Metaphor here it means that the tiger paws, they are compared with velvet because the velvet is very soft. So you cannot, it's very soft, so no sound can be, produced from that. And the same way when the tiger walks, there also no sound is there. So that is why that comparison is called metaphor. Another literary device is enjambment. Enjambment means when a sentence is continuing to next line without punctuation mark. See, if in the poem, if one line is given, then there is no punctuation mark, nor comma, full stop, nothing, and it moves on to the next line, and there if you find a comma or full stop, then that is an example of enjambment. Okay, enjambment का मतलब ये होता है जब किसी पोएम में एक लाइन से दूसरे लाइन तक के बीच में किसी भी प्रकार का कोई पंक्चुएशन मार्क नहीं होता, देन वी कॉल इट enjambment. So these are a few literary devices. A few more literary devices are there. Let's see. Consonance. Okay. That is also another literary device, another figure of speech. Consonance. Consonance kya hota hai? Let's find out. Consonance, it refers to repetitive sounds produced by consonants within a sentence or phrase. This repetition often takes place in quick succession, such as in pitter patter. So quick succession means immediately one after another. Okay. Now in the poem, it is used as S sound. Stocks his stripes. देखिए consonants होता है क्या? Let me tell you. For example, we all know it very well, vowels and consonants, A, E, I, O, U, these uh, words are actually, these sounds, they are called vowels, and consonants, the rest of the, others, they all are consonants. So what is happening? If you see, stalks his stripes. Now what is happening? Stalks. S sound is prevalent here. Then in the next word, his, again S sound is prevalent. Then in the third word, stripes, again S sound. So what is happening again and again in this quick succession? What is happening? This S consonant sound, you know, is there is a repetition of this consonant sound again and again. So that is called consonance. And what is assonance? Assonance is actually the repetition of vowel sound, okay, not of consonant sound. Now we'll see that example. Assonance takes place when two or more words close to one another repeat the same vowel sound but start with different consonant sounds. So let's see this example. For instance, men sell the wedding bells. Now what is happening? Men, this vowel sound is there, E, men, then sell, then wedding, then bells. So this sound is repeated, you know, after one another, after, one or two words. So that is actually an example of assonance. And then the last literary device that is used in this poem is oxymoron. Okay, use of adjectives opposite in meaning. Okay, what is oxymoron? Oxymoron is a figure of speech where two opposite adjectives are used one after another. That is called oxymoron. And in this poem, it is used in the first stanza. Okay, quite rage. Okay, आप ये word देखिए, quite rage. Quite means what? Very quiet, shant. Rage means what? Full of anger. So these two words, they are opposite to each other. आप देख सकते हैं क्वाइट और रेज एक दूसरे के ऑपोजिट हैं. क्वाइट मतलब एकदम शांत, रेज मतलब एकदम गुस्से से भरे रहना. Okay, so this two words, these two words are opposite to each other, but they are used together. So this is called, oxymoron. So that was all from this poem. I hope you have understood this poem very well. And if you have any doubts, please ask me in the comment section and I'll be responding to you. Thank you.
Well, I hope, my dear children, you all have understood this poem very well. I hope everything is quite clear to you. Even the literary devices used in this poem is quite clear to all of you. Still, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section and I'll be responding to your questions. So that was all from this video. Thank you and God bless you.